everyone. In today's lecture, we'll be discussing endocrine glands. So, what are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are the glands which secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream. You guys know this thing very well that hormones are the chemical messengers. And why are hormones released? Hormones are released for the communication purposes. There is a communication between the brain and the rest of the body parts. So, how is the rest of the body connected with the brain? Through chemical messengers. And we mainly have two types of chemical messengers. One are neurotransmitters, which are made by the brain cells, and second are the hormones, which are released by the glands, right? So, endocrine glands make the hormones which are released directly into the bloodstream. And these hormones reach the target cells or the target organs through the bloodstream. Opposite of endocrine glands are exocrine glands, but the main focus of this lecture is endocrine glands. We are not going to talk about the exocrine glands in this lecture, but basically exocrine glands do exist, and what they do is they do opposite of what endocrine glands are doing. Like endocrine glands are making the hormones which are released directly into the bloodstream. So what will exocrine glands do? They'll make the hormones which will not be directly released into the bloodstream. It will be released outside the bloodstream, right? So to keep the thing simple, let's focus mainly on the endocrine glands, right? They are the glands which make and release chemical substances, hormones, which I just stated that hormones are the chemical messengers, hormones are the chemical substances, and these chemical substances, these hormones are essential to control the physiological functions of the body. Getting my point? Now, these hormones released by endocrine glands reach target cells through the bloodstream. So, to understand and absorb the concept of endocrine glands in simpler words is that they are the glands which release the hormones and those hormones transport within the bloodstream, right? All the job of endocrine glands is within the bloodstream. Then this endocrine system is made up of 8 main types of endocrine glands. We have hypothalamus, we have pituitary gland, we have thyroid gland, we have parathyroid gland, we have pancreas, we have adrenal gland, we have gonads, and we have pineal gland. Here you can see the picture. Thyroid gland, those of you who have studied biology in the past or have a background of bio know very well that thyroid gland is shaped like a butterfly, isn't it? And this picture, you can see that within the brain, different glands are located, right? Here we have a pineal gland, and then there is hypothalamus and pituitary gland. And these are the gonads. Gonads are basically your testes and ovaries, your reproductive organs, right? Then this is adrenal gland, and this green one is pancreas. One by one, we'll discuss in this lecture that what is the function of hypothalamus, what does the thyroid gland do, pituitary gland, and the remaining which are written in this slide. So to start with hypothalamus, what is hypothalamus? First of all, you guys need to know the location of the hypothalamus. Where is hypothalamus located? It is located in the center of the brain. You can see this is thalamus, and next to thalamus here we have hypothalamus, and this is pituitary gland, and pituitary gland is known as a master gland. So the function of hypothalamus, guys, is that pituitary gland is your master gland, and pituitary gland releases hormones. Now, how much those hormones should be released? The increase or decrease of those hormones, basically the regulation of the hormones made by pituitary glands. This is done by hypothalamus, right, guys? So hypothalamus makes hormones that increase or decrease the release of the hormones made in the pituitary gland. So hypothalamus releases the hormones, and those hormones regulate the hormones which are made by the master gland, that's pituitary gland. Another function of hypothalamus is it links the nervous system with the endocrine system. And why is it important? Because you may consider it like different vehicles who are, different vehicles on the road. You can consider it like that. You can, understand it like that. Our body is basically a road, and different organs and all those needs to be connected. So there's an essential need for the endocrine system to be connected with the nervous system, so that nervous system sends the signals, and then the endocrine system releases the hormones, and then communication could be done, right? Another function of this hypothalamus is that it balances the body temperature through homeostasis. Again, those of you who have studied biology in the past or are a bio student by background, so you know very well that what is homeostasis. So it's the regulation of the body temperature. Body temperature needs to be balanced. It should neither be above, nor it should be too low, right? Body has an optimum temperature. If that doesn't get maintained, so the enzymes present in the body, they go towards the denaturation, and the physiology of the body gets disrupted. So to keep it simpler, the function of hypothalamus is to keep the body temperature balanced, and it balances the body temperature through a process known as homeostasis, right, guys? Then pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is a master gland, and it releases different hormones. It is known as a master gland, and the size of pituitary gland is pea size, right? So it's like a pea sized gland. It's located at the base of the brain. Like if you see the previous slide, this one, so it is located at the base of the brain. This whole is your brain, and this is the base of the brain where this pituitary gland is located, right? It's located below hypothalamus. You can see this is hypothalamus, and below hypothalamus, just below the hypothalamus, we have this pituitary gland, right? Now, though pituitary gland is smaller in size, it's only pea-sized, right? But it is a very important gland. It's termed as a master gland, and it's regulating various physiological processes and is releasing the hormones which are essential for different physiological functioning of the body. Now, this pituitary gland is actually divided into two categories. We have anterior pituitary and we have posterior pituitary. Now, what is anterior pituitary? Anterior pituitary is basically the front of this gland, front of pituitary gland. This you can see is anterior pituitary. So this is the front of the pituitary gland, and this is posterior. Posterior means back. Even when we study the different, anatomy or biology, over there as well, anterior means front and posterior means back, right? So anterior pituitary gland is the pituitary gland located at the front. Posterior pituitary gland is the pituitary gland which is located at the back. Then the function of interior pituitary gland is to release several important hormones which are essential for the growth, right? So for growth, you know very well that we need human growth hormone. So prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, FSH, LH, all these essential hormones are released by the anterior pituitary gland, right? Whereas if we talk about the posterior pituitary gland, the posterior pituitary gland is releasing the hormones which are produced by the hypothalamus. We just studied in the previous slide that hypothalamus is making the hormones as well. And the purpose of the hormones made by hypothalamus is to regulate the hormones to increase or decrease the hormones made by the pituitary gland. So what sort of hormones are made by posterior pituitary gland? Names I have already mentioned. Oxytocin. What's the function of oxytocin? It's essential in the childbirth. It's essential for breastfeeding. It's a social hormone as well, isn't it? It is important in vasopressin. Now, what is vasopressin? Where water balance and blood pressure is regulated, right? So this is what you need to know. Then, if we talk about the main function of the pituitary gland, so it's a central coordinator. What it does is it receives signals from the hypothalamus, and then as a result of those signals, or in return to those signals, it releases the hormones which are essential for regulating various physiological processes, balancing overall body temperature through homeostasis, right? Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, where is it located? It is located in the front of the neck, and it is butterfly shaped gland. You can see this is larynx and this is butterfly shaped, you can see. It has flaps. Can you see the flaps? Right? So this is a thyroid gland, and this is the left lobe of the thyroid gland, and this is right lobe. And then this is a trachea, which is your windpipe, right? So windpipe is going like this, and here we have butterfly shaped thyroid gland. Now, this is clear to you guys that thyroid glands has two lobes as shown in the picture. We have the right lobe and the left lobe, and it is connected by a narrow band of tissue. So this is isthmus, that's a narrow tissue, narrow band of tissue. What does thyroid gland does? It releases the two main hormones, T3 and T4, very famous hormones. Everyone in our house, might have got tested for these hormones at some point in their life. So we have triiodothyronine, which is T3, and we have thyroxine, that is T4. And collectively, T3 and T4 are known as thyroid hormones, right? We have another hormone as well, that is TSH, and TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. Then what are the functions of thyroid hormone? Thyroid hormone is extremely important hormone, and it has an essential role in regulating body's metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolic reactions are your reactions like when chemical reactions like aerobic respiration takes place. So waste products are released as a result of different physiological reactions. We have excretion, we have digestion. So how those waste products, they need to be removed from your body. So it is actually metabolism, that is the product of all the biochemical reactions taking place in your body, and it deals with the biochemistry of the body, right? So they influence the rate at which cells produce energy from nutrients. Getting my point? So if someone would have a deficiency of thyroid hormones, then the metabolism would be affected as well. The speed of the chemical reactions would be affected as well. Thyroid hormones also helps to regulate body temperature, and they are crucially important for development, in particular in children. If a child is having a deficiency of thyroid hormone, then the growth would be hindered. Then if we talk about parathyroid gland, so parathyroid gland, this is a thyroid gland and that's a parathyroid gland. You can see this is parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland, usually there are 4 parathyroid glands, as you can see. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, parathyroid glands, if we talk about the size, so they're very small in size and they are pea size. They're located at the back of the thyroid gland. So you have thyroid gland, and then at the back of the thyroid gland, we have parathyroid gland. And what does parathyroid gland does? It releases a hormone which is known as PTH. And what is PTH? PTH is a parathyroid hormone. What does this hormone does? It is essential in calcium regulation. You know very well that calcium is what? It's a essential mineral of our body, isn't it? We need it, right? So the levels of calcium are regulated by PTH in the blood, and its main function is to increase calcium levels. It releases calcium from the bones and increases the absorption of the calcium in kidneys and intestines, right? Then phosphorus regulation, again, phosphorus is another mineral, and PTH also helps to regulate phosphorus levels in the blood. Now this is pancreas, and pancreas is located behind the stomach. You can see this is the stomach, J-shaped, and we have pancreas. Pancreas does what? It makes hormones, and pancreas deals with 2 main hormones, which is insulin and glucagon, and they are important for blood sugar control, blood sugar regulation, you can say. Then if we talk about the adrenal glands, we have right adrenal gland and we have left adrenal gland, and you need to know that right adrenal gland is located on top of the right kidney, and here we have the left adrenal gland on top of the left kidney. Now what they do is they make hormones which deals with the stress. It means what? If adrenal glands are not functioning properly, then the body would go into the stress. Psychologically, your body would be affected. So all these hormones which we are studying in this chapter, the endocrine glands is releasing. Basically, these hormones are essential for the mental health as well. If these hormones are not released as much they should be, or there's a deficiency of these hormones in the body, then also mental health as well as your physiological health can get affected. So these hormones actually have a crucial role in your body. Getting my point? So the hormones made by adrenal gland also maintain glucose pressure and blood glucose. What are gonads? They are the reproductive organs. Like we have testes in males and we have ovaries in females. And you know, guys, you know this that female ovaries are located on both the sides of the uterus. So this is a uterus, as you can see, funnel shape. And here we have one ovary, and here we have the next ovary. And below the opening of the fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes extend from the uterus to the ovary. In addition to containing the egg cells necessary for reproduction, ovaries also produce the hormones. Now, these gonads, apart from performing their reproductive functions, these gonads also release the hormones. So, what hormones are released by the ovaries? Estrogen and progesterone. And estrogen is a very essential hormone. If it gets deficient, then women get deprived of energy. They are not able to perform everyday tasks properly, right? And their menstrual cycle gets affected. So estrogen and progesterone are regulating the menstrual cycle. If we talk about the testes, they are located in the scrotum, right? And these testes produce testosterone. Again, testosterone makes sperm, and it is essential for the secondary sexual characteristics, for the muscle growth, for the physiological functioning. Then we have a pineal gland. Here you can see this is a pineal gland, and pineal gland is a small endocrine gland. It's located in the center of the brain between the two hemispheres. Brain has two hemispheres, right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, and between those two hemispheres we have a pineal gland. Pineal gland is essential for controlling the biological clock, your sleep-wake cycle. What does pineal gland secrete? It secretes melatonin. Now, what is the function of melatonin? Melatonin actually regulates your sleep cycle, circadian rhythm, which is known as. When it becomes dark, what happens? Pineal gland automatically produces melatonin, and melatonin makes the body sleep. This is why when we conduct psychological research, and there are many researches on the screen time. Screen time disrupts your sleep cycle. Why? Because pineal gland doesn't get a signal, because you know there's a light, and in the light, melatonin is not released. In the dark, it is released because the pineal gland gets a signal from the brain that now it's the time of sleep and release melatonin. And melatonin is very essential. If melatonin would not be secreted, it means your sleep cycle would get affected. If your sleep cycle would get affected, then you may lead to the sleep disorders. And sleep disorders are again psychological problems, right? Psychological disorders. So when it is light, melatonin production decreases, helping us stay awake. If we talk about the circadian rhythm regulation, so circadian rhythm is a 24-hour biological clock, and we have sleep-wake patterns. Our body is adapted. You know that sometimes we don't set an alarm, but the body wakes up at the time of which we have made the body habitual. Why is that so? Because of the circadian rhythm. So we have different energy levels throughout the day, and there's a timing of the hormones definitely, that melatonin will only get released when it's dark, right? Then what's the role of seasonal biological rhythms? Definitely, you know this thing very well that throughout the year we don't have the same time. Some months of the year have long days and some have short days. So again, due to that, if the sleep is getting affected, so that is seasonal sleep patterns. And seasonal sleep patterns can lead to the mood changes as well. And then that's a different topic which we'll discuss in some other lecture. Seasonal affective disorder. Some people due to seasonal changes get, mood disorders, right? Again, if we talk about the possible role in puberty, then pineal gland is influencing the timing of the puberty as well. Because melatonin is interacting with the reproductive hormones. If you are getting deficient of melatonin, then the puberty may be delayed as well. Getting my point. So the puberty time, can be delayed, or your early puberty may come. The fluctuations may happen due to melatonin, right, guys? So I hope so that you people have understood the concept of endocrine glands.